Hi, we're back to our course, and now we have Leo Brouwer study number 9. This study has some rhythm, musical aspects that you have to deal with, but it's mainly slur study. The slur for the modern school of the guitar is considered a note played by the left hand. When it's the ascending slur, we hammer on the fingers. You use each finger as if it were a little hammer, like the hammer on the piano. That you hit the string and you create sound by making the string hit the fret. When it's the descending slur, you're doing the very same movement that you also do with the right hand. But instead of doing here, near the guitar hole, you're doing here, on above the scale. But it's the very same note of plucking the string. This movement, especially for older guitar schools, they advise you to aid these two movements by moving your elbow, your hand, your wrist, whatever. It does work well when you do that in other contexts. Here, you have to do the slurs only with a finger, because you have some note on a neighbor string that should be sounding while you do the slur on the other string, that they are one side the other. So right from the beginning we have an A sharp that's slurred to a B, but you have to sound the D as well. Only by doing the movement only with the finger that this D keeps sounding until the B. If you try to aid with the hand or the wrist or whatever, the risk of the fourth finger reaching the fourth string is incredibly high, and you end up damping the note that should keep on sounding. So this study should really work on making the movement only with the finger. To do that, you have to do a previous exercise before start practicing the piece. That I recommend you to keep working that in your technical routine. It won't take 1 minute, 2 minutes at the most. So it's easy to add to your technical routine, at least while you are practicing this study number 9 from Leo Brouwer. So choose whichever position is easy for you to play without stretching your hands too much. So very often it's the 4th to the 7th position in most guitarists. I'm doing on the 7th position right now. And first, only hammer the strings, thinking that each finger works like a little piano hammer. I have to practice more. Then pluck the string also without touching the neighbor string, and then go on. First string is always the easier. And so on. Okay, practice that and then go to the study number 9 and practice each slur separately. Play perfectly well 3 times each slur, then go to the next one. You don't need to repeat each time. At least I don't think it's good for you to repeat at this moment. So first you have this A sharp and B, So practice that 3 times, alright. Then go to the next one, G, A sharp. Only the finger. Then it's once more A sharp and B. You don't need to practice that. Go for the next different slur, which is D sharp, C sharp, D. Only that. Then C, B flat. C, D flat, sorry, C, D flat. And go on. Practice each slur of the piece, also the descending ones. Still sound the G. Still sounding the B. Each one 3 times, alright, then go for the piece. Something also that I advise you to do is do some drumming, you know? Play the rhythm as a percussion, in a percussion instrument, or doing these percussion sounds on the guitar, only of the marking the first note of each slur. For example, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Especially if you play that on the tempo of the piece, you will relate it, that you'll notice that there is an afrocuban rhythm here. And that's the proposal of the Brouwer. It is supposed to sound like an afrocuban rhythm, and it is marked by the slur. Do an accent on each very first note of the slur to mark the rhythm, and then it does sound like a percussion instrument, like a Cuban rhythm, with a Cuban rhythm more clear. So it's a piece that you should work on the slurs. This will require an extra technical effort, but musically the piece is quite simple. Just play the rhythm, mark the rhythm of each slur, and on the end we have this interesting ending. It's just to mark that it's finishing with strength and energy. Do a little pause here. You can either do by putting fingers I, M, and A on the strings, but in the case you will have to play everything else with the thumb. I don't like that option. Or you can just touch lightly with your left hand and then you damp everything. Or you can do the same with the right hand, but then the movement's a little bit larger, so I prefer with the left hand. Do as if it were a barré. And then you can play the last note with I and M. Have fun!